to the family. Yeah. I had to let my old people go, pray they don't get mad at me. Yeah.
Well, I think people need to understand that sex is a spiritual exchange.
Mm-hmm.
It's powerful. Even biblically, there's a sacrifice. There's a covenant that happens, and a covenant happens through a shedding of blood. God has shed blood for us. It's a covenant, a promise. He sent his son here to die for us. He's the ultimate sacrifice. And he's made a covenant with us and a promise with us. And the way that he's designed a woman, that when you do have sex with a virgin, there's a shedding of blood. Practically, worldly speaking, when you are with somebody, the problem is now you start comparing the people that you've been with to this woman or this man that you're trying to make your spouse, and you just can't get there because you're comparing them to all the other bodies that you've had. This guy did that woman did this, and it stops you anytime you start comparing something. It's a thief. It's a thief of joy. You say comparison is a thief of joy. I can't be happy with you because you don't amount to the other people that I've been with because they did it differently. And they actually, I think the more times you have sex, the more desensitized you become to it, you know? And so you need more and more and more and more because it's not as spiritually powerful as it's supposed to be. Yeah, but man, that's so powerful. That's powerful to understand that, hey, this is a weapon. It could be used for your benefit or for your demise. It's really interesting that everything that God has designed is very intentional, and going back to design.
Yeah. All right, couple other things, couple more in the interdependent adulthood phase. The next one is actually, are you going to genuinely serve God, or are you going to serve yourself? You know, this is the phase where that pathway can really get solidified in your life because, we're fed so much knowledge and information about ways that we can become more, become greater, become richer, become more beautiful, become more successful. And that can be our pursuits to become this thing that we were never really created to become. Whether that's, chasing influence, chasing celebrity status, chasing money, power, respect. All of these things are ways that we can choose to serve ourself versus serving God with the life that we're choosing to, or the pathway of life that we're choosing to go down.
Which is a distraction, right? If I can just distract them with wanting these things, the power, all the things that you've already mentioned, it then it deters them from pursuing purpose. And it's a tactic of the enemy. And if I can just distract them and keep them stagnant or pursuing things that they don't produce fruit within the kingdom, then he's won. And it's powerful that you bring this up because I was thinking about all the ways the world divides and distracts, and it's literally in our face thousands of times a day, whether it be male versus female or skin color, or it comes down to what teams you like, basketball, politics,
church denominations.
Like, it's rampant. And if I see you got a Mighty Ducks hat, which is dope, by the way, you like the Ducks and I like the fill in the blank, then we're rivals, you know, and there's a division there. It could be just fun, but at the same time, something deep. I can judge you based off the color of your skin, and then there's a division. Or hey, you're Republican, or you go to that church, or you're that denomination, or whatever it is. Yeah. I grew up in this I went to this school, and you're a rival of my school. I'm from this neighborhood, you're from that neighborhood. It's all over the place, and it's a distraction. It divides us. It doesn't make us stronger and united. And I'm like, man, this is. And then as I'm going through the Bible, it's the same way. They distract with it's just the Pharisees, the laws, and all it's just nothing. Let's say nothing is new under the sun. They're just adding ways to distract and deter us now at this point. Oh, it's the pronouns, and this kid wants to identify as a cat. You know, it's like, what is going on? We're just really confused, and we don't know what's what now.
Yeah, no, that's deep, man. Okay, so the last one on this list, for me, is the pathway of ownership or the pathway of stewardship. And it's very deep because that's one of those that feels like seems right to man, is owning things, being the owner, pursuing ownership. And you may have a piece of paper that states you're the owner, but spiritually, you're just the steward. Because I heard this powerful quote on a social media clip like a couple of weeks ago. And this lady said that everybody's pursuing things, pursuing material things, pursuing material gain. And the only thing that you can bring to heaven with you is people. And I'm like, ooh, that's kind of deep. Because everything you gain here on this earth, you can't take it with you. You can pass it on to your kids, but you can't take it with you when they go. And they can't take it with them when they go either. So it's wiser to acquire things with the heart posture of, I'm just stewarding this. This has actually been given to me by God. He's entrusted me with the responsibility to steward it well and be in interdependence with him to receive guidance on how, okay, God, how do you want me to steward this? You've placed it in my hands, but you're the owner. So what would you like me to do with this? And that's not even just material things. That's time. That's energy. That's relationships. That, it is your finances and your material things as well. But if you can acquire the heart posture and mindset that nothing is mine during this interdependent adulthood phase, you'll be set up to where God can really do amazing things in your life because you're not holding on to things. He knows that, a lot of people say he knows he can trust you, but he knows that you're connected with his will and not your own. He knows that you will be willing to not go your way and not do everything you want to do. But if he were to want to use you to do something, you'd be willing because you understand that everything's his anyway. It doesn't even really belong to me, you know?
Yeah. Which is also scriptural too. It says, don't store up your treasures on earth, where thieves come to steal and rust comes and the vermin. So, but there's scripture too, is what you bind on earth, you bind in heaven as well. Mm-hmm. I can't remember that. I know I just butchered that, so help me out in the comments, I guess. But there are roles and reassignments in heaven as well. We're not going to be just angels floating around like we've seen before, but there's roles and responsibilities within heaven, and what we do here determines what we end up doing there based off of stewardship, which is which is really interesting to think about as well too. And maybe how our design, he designed us to steward something within heaven, but then gave us earth first.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's how that God works, but it's just interesting.
Well, yeah, man, that's really what I had on the interdependent adulthood phase. Anything in your spirit or in your heart or on your mind that you want to touch base on or add to regarding this particular phase?
I think that all starts with an authentic relationship. I know that we talked about kids who grew up in families that have taken them to church. A lot of times that there's no relationship there. You know, if someone who's leading a family isn't leading with love and truth and understanding of like, hey, this is why we're deciding to take you to church, is because fill in the blank, the why behind the thing versus just checking a box. I think there's a difference between religion and relationship, which I know we talk about a lot, because it's heart posture. It's different. There's a different feeling. I can tell my wife that I love her, but it's also different when I go give her a hug and a kiss, and I do it from an authentic place, not to get anything from her. And I just look in her eyes and I let her know that I love her. So, and she can, it's different. Like, oh, hey babe, I'm gonna say I love you just because out of routine versus heart posture. And it's the same thing when you're obviously in a relationship with your wife, like, or spouse, but also with God. There should be a different outpour that shows up. The fruit is different. And we see that a lot within families where they grew up within the church. And so they just did it, but then they fell out. And I think that they fell out is because they didn't have an authentic relationship, and it was more religion. And or their parents, like you said, maybe weren't actually authentic within their relationship. And so it didn't show up for them and it didn't land well for them. But what I do know is that God has designed everybody with and for a purpose, and he loves them, because who doesn't love their children? And he will never leave you nor forsake you. He's placed these gifts inside of you, and he wants to help you cultivate them. You do have a purpose. And if he wants to be the foundation, he wants to be the number one relationship in that you have, so that way man doesn't break it or distort the love that he has for you. And it's not until that you actually have that relationship with him that you can identify these gifts, that you can actually feel what it likes to be loved authentically, that you can get clear, unwavering truth and life and all of the fruit that he gives and provides to people. A lot of that is distorted by just broken people, and it breaks my heart because that brokenness produces more broken. And it's not until what God is such a redeemer, because he'll take that brokenness and then build you back up the way you're supposed to anyway. So God just is great in all that he does, but you have to be willing to let him into your life and just get to know him, get to know God authentically, not from somebody else, but a relationship with him. And it really just comes down to an invitation. And just inviting him into your life. And then he starts speaking to you, and he starts revealing these areas of your life that he wants, that you're blocking him out of. At least this is what he's done in my experience. It's, God, I want to know you. It's all right. Well, get into my word. And I start getting into his word. And I'm like, man, this is good. This is really good. Like, all right, there's some things that I need to change. And then I like go back to God. It's like, all right, you see me working and getting in your word and getting to know you. I'm like, this is really good. And he's like, yeah, I know. And I'm like, all right, so what's next? He's like, well, I need you to become the word. Become the word, because knowing the word isn't enough, because the enemy knows the word. We're talking about these two different sides, purpose or pleasure. Like, if you don't know that there's destiny within his word, then you're gonna feed the pleasure because you don't know the implications of it all. He does, which is why he's trying to like lay it out before you in a manner of which you can handle it in the maturity process. But as you grow within maturity, he starts giving you more responsibility, more clarity, more wisdom. And the really cool thing about God is it's not even for you. It's for those people that you're talking about. You taking people to heaven. Like you're here not just for you. You've been given gifts on how to teach, how to lead, and he's taking all the things that you've been through. When you give it to him, all right, God, these are the things I've been through. It's like, great. You don't have to carry that anymore. Let me work on those things and I'll make them produce good things in your life. And so he takes those pains and those traumas and those things that you've been through, even those maybe bad decisions that you've made along the way. And then he deposits goodness into them. He says, look, now you can go be fruitful and multiply it because I've made it a tool for you now. You are now ahead of that thing, and now you can reach people that are actually going through that thing. So he now takes that thing that was meant to destroy you, and he uses it for his glory. And now you can go help deliver people that have struggled with, maybe didn't have a father in their life, and you can speak to them that they do have a destiny, and that just because they don't have a father speaking that over them, that they actually have a heavenly father, and just don't put your earthly father in where God's supposed to be. Or maybe you had that sexual trauma when you're upcoming, and now you can go speak to others that have been there, and you can point them back to truth. Like everything that we've gone through and or will go through, God can use if we allow him to. And so and there's freedom there. There's freedom. I refuse to be chained down and bogged down by these things of this world anymore. And my heart's breaking thinking about the people that stay in bondage because they don't know truth, and they don't know that they've already been set free, and they're locked in here in this brokenness and this identity that has been passed down to them from another broken person. So man, my passion, because I've been there.
Yeah.
And I've been broken, and I've been passed down brokenness, and is not God. Is not God. It's broken people making decisions from immature places like you're talking about that are only serving themselves. Is not God. Even if it's coming from the pulpit, it's not God.
Facts.
And so we have to understand that men, humans are broken. We're born into brokenness. We're born into bondage, and God is the only way that you can be set free. And so that's just my cry is to, I hear that you've been through a lot, and you're going through a lot, and it was never God's design.
Yeah.
And he was there when those things are happening. It wasn't his heart that those things happened. And he never wanted those things to happen. But he's going to see you through it if you allow him to. If you can give it over to him, and if you can start making some decisions that are going to be fruitful, and let those decisions start compounding, and do it with God. And you don't need to do it on your own. And so I'm off topic, but I'm just pleading for the people that are out there that are maybe hearing this, that they don't need to go through it alone, and that those things that they've gone through, they can let it go. They can let it go and give it to God. And so off topic, but
no, that's right on. That's on topic, man. It was needed. So, and powerful. So appreciate you, sharing that, man. And it's, at the end of the day, it's all good with God.
That is one of the most freeing things that he's revealed to me, that even the bad things are good if we give it to him. He said, "Oh, that's another thing I can use." And it says that in the scripture, when your endurance is tested, count it joy, because it gives you a chance to grow.
Yeah, it gives you a chance to exercise your faith and to grow and mature and grow closer to him. And there's so many good things that come out of everything when you're in that place where you're interdependent with God. So, man, I feel like that's a good place to put a pin in it. We've talked about the, phase of childhood. We've talked about the phase of an interdependent adult. Next episode, we're going to dive into an interdependent spouse. And then we're going to bring it home with an interdependent parent. So, man, y'all stay locked in with us. We got some more powerful stuff coming.
Peace.
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 Welcome to the family. Yeah. I had to let my old people go.